14 million in concentration camps, only 6 million were Jews. Thank God for the Jews who keep the memory of the Holocaust alive, because we Christians really are terrible at remembering this stuff. When you look at China, the majority of the Chinese were peace-loving people. Yet China managed to kill 20 million people. 80 million people the Chinese communists did. The peaceful majority was irrelevant. Communist Russia, most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet the communist Russians were able to kill a staggering 20 million people. The peaceful majority was irrelevant. When you look at Japan, most Japanese people were peace-loving people prior to World War II. They did not want to kill anybody. Except Japan managed to kill a staggering 12 million people killed by bayonet, beheaded, and slaughtered by communist Japanese. The peaceful majority was irrelevant. So here we are today. When we talk about the peaceful majority in the Muslim world, yes, we have a lot of peaceful Muslims. I have Muslim friends who are peaceful, that would give their lives defending this country, who do not want to fight, who do not want to do anything. They love America, they love our Constitution, and they want to live Western lives. This is why they came here. But they have been made irrelevant by their silence. The only group that matters right now is the group threatening our way of life, threatening our democracies, be it in America, be it in England, be it in Australia, be it in Canada, be it in France, be it in Belgium. All of Western civilization is facing a major problem with radical Islam. Here in the United States, people think, well, Al-Qaeda is our major problems, and they're only focused that if we capture Osama bin Laden, all our worries are going to go away. Not true. Al-Qaeda is a trans-umbrella organization with many different organizations coming underneath it that share the same ideology, that share the same belief. Hamas, Hezbollah, Jama'ah al-Islamiyya, Al-Mujahideen, Hizb al-Tahrir, no matter what name I give you, they all work together as one, sharing the same ideology. And a perfect example is 2 years ago, Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon went to war with each other. Hezbollah in Lebanon is a Shiite radical Islamic group. Hamas in Gaza, which launched an attack against Israel at the same time, Hamas in Gaza are a Sunni group. You had the Shiites in Lebanon and the Sunnis in Gaza both coordinate together attacks against Israel, even though Sunni and Shiites don't get along, except in this case, the ultimate goal was the fight and the defeat of the Israeli army and the government and killing as many people as possible. So the two enemies of Israel came together and fought as one in a coordinated attack. So today when we talk about, well, the Shiites and the Sunni, and maybe the Shiites will rise and protect us from the Sunnis, or maybe the Sunnis will rise and protect us from the Shiites, it's a waste of time. It's empty talk. So here we are in America today. And in America today, we have infiltration happening in our society on every level. In the mosques, at the universities, we have terrorist organizations that have set up shop on American soil and are operating on American soil. The top three are Al-Qaeda, Islamic Jihad, and Hamas. Hamas, of all of them, has cells in over 40 states in the United States. So what they are teaching in mosques, here is their systematic brainwashing into our society and the infiltration. While we, after September 11th, started going to the mosques and talking about interfaith dialogue and reaching out to the Muslims, thinking we've got to establish dialogue, here's what they are doing. What they are teaching in mosques is basically the overthrow of our government. I discussed in my book a Freedom House study where they basically went into mosques and collected over 200 books and publications provided by the government of Saudi Arabia into the mosques in the United States, because as you know, mosques are mostly funded in the United States by Saudi Arabia. And these books and publications are provided to the mosques to teach Muslims living in non-Muslim land how to deal with infidels who are living amongst them. Here's what these Saudi books teach Muslims to do. Quote, hate them for their religion, meaning us Christians and Jews and Buddhists and secularists and everybody else. To hate for Allah's sake. Always oppose them in every way. Maintain a wall of resentment against them. They say that democracy is responsible for all the horrible wars of the 20th century, and that attractive names like democracy, justice, freedom, brotherhood, and equality cause all of the world's problems. They say that it is the religious duty of every Muslim to impose, and I continue quoting, functionally Islamic government on every country in the world. This religious duty is binding in principle, in law, in self-defense, in community, and as a sacred obligation of jihad. In order to fulfill the sacred obligation of jihad, they must, and I continue quoting, invade its western heartland and struggle to overcome it until all the world shouts by the name of the Prophet Muhammad and the teachings of Islam spread throughout the world. Only then will Muslims achieve their fundamental goal. All religion will be exclusively for Allah, end quote. This is what is being taught in the United States in 7 out of 10 mosques. That's a frightening number, my friends. 7 out of 10 mosques are preaching the overthrow of our democracy and encouraging and inciting violence. The infiltration is happening also in our universities. Many of you, especially in this area, know the problems we are having on our universities. I call them occupied territories. Our universities are gone. You know, when you need a team of bodyguards fit for a presidential protection staff, that's when you know we have a problem in our universities. When you, as an American, cannot show up to our universities and give a lecture presenting your point of view and actually be respected without being driven off the stage or threatened with violence. But here is how they infiltrated our universities. What happened is the Saudis have been able to exploit a program called the Title VI program. And the Title VI program was instituted by our government after World War II to teach young American generations about foreign cultures and foreign languages so they may be an asset to our country. But because of the oil wealth, just giving them money and money to the Arabic countries, Saudi Arabia, especially the Saudis, have been leading the pack in pumping millions of dollars into our universities, taking advantage of the Title VI program, using it as a loophole to set up Middle East Study Department and political science departments, appointing Arab professors who are anti-America and anti-Israel to basically brainwash our students to believe that we are the problem, our foreign policy is the problem, our wealth, our enlightenment, our success is what's oppressing the rest of the world. Here is the extent of the Saudi peddling that has been taking place in our universities. King Fahd has donated $20 million to set up Middle East Study Department at the University of Arkansas. $5 million donated to Berkeley, Middle East Study Department from 2 Saudi sheikhs linked to Al-Qaeda. Harvard received $22.5 million. $28.1 million went to Georgetown. 11 million to Cornell, 5 million to MIT, 1.5 million to Texas A&M, 1 million to Princeton. Rutgers received 5 million share endowment, as did Columbia, who tried to lie and conceal the source of the funds. Other recipients of Saudi-tainted monies are UC Santa Barbara, Johns Hopkins University, Rice University, American University, University of Chicago, USC, UCLA, Duke University, Syracuse University, Howard University, University of Idaho, Washington State University, Ohio State University, Arizona State University, University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, UC Los Angeles, UC Irvine, UC Berkeley, UCLA, University of South Florida. I can go on and on. You get the idea. From our Ivy Leagues down to the state colleges and everywhere in between. We pump the gas, they pump poison into the hearts and minds of our future generation. Today people ask me, you know, the media is so biased. Why is the media so biased? Anti-Israel, anti-America. There is nothing good in the media about us. And I tell them, here's the reason why. Because for the last 16 years, while mothers and fathers worked 2 jobs, pinched every penny to send their children to an Ivy League school or any American university, to give them the American dream, a college education, which most parents a generation ago maybe did not have, basically paid the money to get their children brainwashed. These children who graduated out of these universities for the last 16 years are now the producers, the editors, the writers, the bureau chiefs. They now work on Capitol Hill. They now are the presence. And this new generation that is being taught hatred is going to be the future. And this is what is so alarming. I discussed in my book, the new book, They Must Be Stopped, the Muslim Brotherhood Project for North America. And I discussed the plan that radical Islam has for the West and how they began implementing it.